They ended up using, so the way it works is there are three 3-minute pauses for a total of 9 minutes. They only used 7 minutes of timeout for Benny Q, but because they had gone into their third timeout, that ends up eliminating that TO completely, even though they only used 60 seconds of it. So they're not allowed a fourth timeout for the 2 minutes that were remaining, which is why they couldn't pause for Panda Turtles DC. That ended up being the scenario, which is why they couldn't pause. So even though they had 2 minutes left, they technically used all 3 timeouts for Benny Q. So it is just a sad networking thing that ended up occurring where, obviously either Smite crashed, his internet crashed, something along the lines ended up happening, which was negative in that aspect. And it looks like McDuck's going to flip over the script and grab the Awilix. Covey has been known to play this god. Obviously, he's not the jungler or the solo laner. I've seen him playing it both, being in the mid. He brought a Hunter in the mid lane. Maybe he'll bring that.
And the sub going to be locked in. And so we're seeing kind of the team comp that we saw out of Slaughter Slugs in game 1. Just kind of go for we're going to pluck you, then we're going to pull you with Gravity Surge. And by this point, you're sitting in the middle of our team. We're just going to dump as much damage into you as we possibly can. On the other side, we see Athena, and now we're actually going to be having Collateral and Formula 409 picking up their gods, or at least gods for the team here. And I kind of like the Athena first pick because it's assumed, I assume it's going to Collateral.
Absolutely, it's going to Collateral. Collateral is he's a great solid player. He's got the mechanics to play Athena. Athena's not a hard god. You press 2, you taunt, your team does damage. That's about it. Should be solid and fine there. Panda Turtle looking to maybe go with the Thor. Again, smart picks. Don't have jumps, don't have anything. Soul has escapability. She has Disapparate, which has, the corporal form. If you can get in there, Mollusk isn't going to be able to do any damage to you. It can be pretty annoying to deal with, so nice safe pick for either the ADC or mid lane. Again, that Soul is that flex pick. Can go either or.
And I like you said, I really like the pickups that they have. There's no real jumps for the Awilix to come and pick up on. And as it is, we actually see Hu Yi going to be locked in for the first time tonight, I think. And that's going to be going over to Swoop McDucks, probably being put onto Fearno, but it could also be Covey's god into the mid lane. Hunters in the mid lane are definitely not that unheard of. And if he thinks that the matchup is against Soul, he might want that extra crit in the early game to kind of give him a little bit of upper hand in the fights.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with that. That is interesting. Hui could definitely go into the mid role for sure. Right now, Hui does have a mark that can knock up. So there's I got the hiccups right now. A very small scenario where the Mollusk is able to pull off of the die bomb combination with the Mark of the Crow. So I have to be very, very quick on that though. Not a very big opportunity like there is on Sobek. So carefully gonna have to be having to be aware of that as well. The Slugs. So it's a lot of, they're really setting up for this Awilix, it looks like, and then they got some AOE damage. I wouldn't be surprised if in the mid lane they decide to grab something like either the Poseidon or even an Agni. Just to go ahead and sustain the bombs or the big AoE burst damage that Hui has, and put that on top of a Lurking of the Waters and then a Poseidon ultimate. It could be pretty devastating.
And with that, we actually see Tyr and Bologna banned out. Swoop not wanting to deal with Formula 409 solo lane here. Kronos did come out for Slaughter Slugs, and now they're looking for their last ban here. And honestly, it could be kind of anything. What do they want to go for? A mid laner here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Poseidon banned out, just because when it comes down to it, they need a little bit extra damage and probably some early game to help push their team through. If Vulcan actually going to get banned away,
Fearno's laughing right now.
Sure.
Fearno is actually
forcing the ban.
Fearno is actually they fell for it. Lol. Okay, he's actually just laughing right now that happened. So I don't think he was going to play it again. By any sort of facet, I think they're going to play it again. So, hey, circle composition. Hui Suns, Odin Ring, Lurking in the Water. We have 3 giant circles. We're going to use all of them.
And, there was a point that I would always make that joke that was always the Xbox meta, was just get the biggest circles and you win.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was one of the things that, we've seen, if you watch those games, they evolve, and they've gotten more and more towards what the PC meta is. But, it's a tried and true method. It does tend to work.
Hey, man, circles are, crappy to deal with, man. You just can't get out of them. Especially, look, unless you're building Spectral. Oh, my God, he has the panda skin. Oh, yes, Fearno. I hope Fearno plays it just to see the panda skin. I honestly just want to see the Pandas get in action. I don't really see it a lot. Betty Q looking to hover over an ADC, possibly possibilities. Loki was hovered over for a second. I mean, we've seen the Zap Man pull out the Loki ADC before. Not uncommon, but Uller looking to be hovered over right now, who got his minor buff. I've always been interested in the Uller picks because, kind of like Neath, he's been known very much, even though Uller boxes very well, he's been very known as an ability hunter with the fact that he has 6 abilities, so kind of transcendence locked. But as soon as I keep talking about all the cool things Uller does, Medusa gets locked in. And why not? Because you have Athena, and Taunt into Petrify is what we call overpowered.
I actually feel like that might have been the conversation they were having because he hovered over that Uller for a long time, not locking in.
Collateral was like,
somebody
yeah,
was
man.
just like, come on, man, we need this combo.
Yeah, they were like, yo, Penny, let's play Medusa. But Penny was like, no, I don't want to play Medusa. I want to play Uller. I don't want to play Medusa. Play Medusa. OP combo, Taunt into Petrify. Well, I want to play Medusa. And it's kind of back and forth. I get to see that conversation happening the whole time. And then finally, he ends up locking the Medusa for the combo. Sun Wukong going to be a disruptive solo laner. Kind of, like the tier. Has a lot of abilities. Has a slow. Has a knockup. Has a stun. 72 transformations could do a lot of things. The picks are coming through. Obviously, they're completed. The swapping has begun. Looks like Scylla is going to be the mage selected. So again, I'm going to consider it a circle. The Crush is a giant. I mean, not a giant circle. It's a decent sized circle, and well, the ultimate is a decent size as well. Anybody locked in that ring should get hit by that ultimate if she's on point with it. So gotta be careful.
And with it, I mean, Scylla does absurd amounts of damage, and I feel like that she being picked up here is really going for the reset that you can get from I'm a Monster here. If she can hit, Medusa or Thor or Soul with an I'm a Monster towards that late game, they're just going to get erased off the map. And at that point, she gets that reset. She can drop that damage once again onto somebody else. And I mean, Scylla's kit being as strong as she is with that passive she has, like, she's going to be a formidable opponent here as long as Covey can play her well.
I mean, Kobe's obviously proven himself to be able to play multiple, gods in different roles so far. Like, he played the Hunter, he played the other gods pretty well. So Kobe's well established. He should be all right. Well, we got about 150 seconds to go. Honestly, I'm looking at both team compositions, and I'm thinking coin toss. Like, it could be heads or tails. It could be slugs. It could be McDucks. We don't know. We're going to find out here. And again, about 140 seconds. So stay tuned with us. Get your water bottles. Get your popcorn ready because the show is going to begin, guys. All right, guys, I have to update the score. So instead of 0-1, which is what it was before, it's now 1-1. And in English, that is 1-1. So the tour is tied. You know the teams. I'm Freight Train. That's Gore Miser. How you doing, man? You're still here?
And still, I mean,
he's still here.
Like you said,
he's still here.
One, it's a toss up here. Like
it is. I really kind of I don't have an idea like offhand. Normally, I can kind of get like an idea of who I feel based off picks and bans. Both team compositions have things that work for them. It's going to be really a question of execution.
Yeah, and the first thing I see coming out is that Covey did decide to get a purple pot. He has that nice power pot ticking. And honestly, for Scylla, that's not bad. Her early game clear is kind of subpar, especially since she's going to be having to deal with a soul here. And
I've run this with the Soulstone purple pot. I've run this, and like I was like 3-0 in Scylla, and like the other team F6, they were like, all right, I'm done. You know, Scylla's got 3 kills already in like a matter of seconds. Yeah, I do. And it's pretty much just the end of the game right there, as Mollusk is going to put a lot of pressure on here. Yeah, definitely the pressure going for the boys in red right here. The McDucks easily able to get that wave up and running. And again, we're going to go straight to the Harpies. Left-hand side going to go to red, and right-hand side should easily go to blue. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get over there in time and contest.
And we actually see, you know, the solo laners in their box-up match. Oh, actually, on the right side, Fierno going to get the best of BQ. Collateral still sitting low, but Fierno picking up that first blood really early on.
Don't know what happened. Both Hunters have the crit online. It could have just been that 1 in 10. Maybe he got oceaned, you know? Is that what we're calling it when you just get crit and you just get, like, ability? The oceaned? Did you get oceaned? I don't know if that's what it's called or not, but I'm coining the phrase. He got oceaned.
And, I mean, as it was, like, assuming he got oceaned, maybe he can come back from this, but, you know, getting behind that early, like, now we see Hu Yi sitting at level 3 and Medusa's level 2, and while it's just like, oh yeah, it's only one level, that goes up, and actually in the mid lane and in the solo lane, we're going to be seeing 2 more kills get picked up for Swoop McDucks. They are not playing around this game.
Yeah, do you smell that, Gore? Can you, like, you smell, I think I smell tilt. I think Slugs might be a little upset on that last game. With the knowledge that they had 2 more minutes of timeouts getting to them, but they didn't have a third timeout to use, might be kind of like upsetting things right here. I don't know. Again, like the pressure is going to be on right here. Sun Wukong is going to get absolutely eliminated if he has enough mana for Feather Step. Oh, but the passive will kick in, a little extra protections. Formula 409 will get out of there. But Medieval's 5, he's going to get caged. Is this going to get baited right now? There's the cage. Oh, I forgot to hit L again over here. Now here comes the Scylla. The crush is going to get used, and that's going to end up being the end of days. Panda Turtle gets the return kill on top of the Mollusk, but here's the ultimate. Shadow Chair is going to have to time this perfectly. Oh, nice bait to go back, but hey, in the end, Covey misses the ultimate. He's able to get the auto that matters. Delayed double for him, and yeah, not looking good.
Getting really low onto the left-hand side. It looks like it might be another kill. Collateral going to be able to pull Fierno off. Fierno going for a nice little ricochet there. Honestly, Swoop McDuck's playing this really clean.
Very strong,
like we saw with the Fear. I'm a monster. Like they're like, hey, guess what? We brought it back last game. They're still on that like high of the win. They're like, okay, we can do this. Like, we're not out of it. All we have to do is win this. We get the win. We get first place.
I mean, that's it. That's the bottom line of the McDucks really making a stand right here. Again, McDucks did beat Refuse. Refuse was, again, in Friday Night Smite Detonate's opinion, realistically the number 1 rated team because they won the previous week. They won last month's circuit tournament and all that. So they were the team, but Formula 409 forced to use the ultimate. Panda Turtle's over here on the right-hand side. Kobe's going to Sentinel on out right now. The taunt's going to be good by Collateral. Medieval looks to be caged in, but I don't know. This looks like the cage he wants to be in. The monster is going, and he'll end up getting, I don't know how we got that kill on the one. I guess it was Archer's. I'm going to imagine like a Bluestone was just ticking on him, and Archer started. A surrender vote has actually started right now at 3 minutes and 50 seconds in the game. And Panda Turtle, yeah.
And
Tilt.
I guess that covers
That's it. That's Friday Night Smite. That's what Tilt does. That's it.
We saw like Swoop McDucks just, I mean, they ran it. They took 8 kills at 4 minutes. That's 2 kills a minute there, and they were not holding back. Scylla was, and like you said, Scylla was 3-0-3, 3 kills on the Scylla at 4 minutes. You're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, and also apparently we're gonna getting some word that obviously I'm not gonna say tilt directly. We don't know what's exactly going on, but I'm actually reading some of the chat right now. We're getting word that there was some more lag issues with Benny